The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 41594. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting first, just under the front bumper, you'll find 2 open-ended tow hooks. These are 6,000 pounds direct pull only and are for operational use. As you move up onto the face of the front bumper, you'll find your mechanical siren. There are 2 forward-facing siren and PA speaker systems just inside the frame rails, and on the outside of the frame rail on the driver's side, dual air horns. Moving up onto the cab, you'll find on the outer edge a marker turn indicator light. Just inside that location is your headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. Just above that location is emergency warning lights. There is a cluster of 2 on each side. Directly behind the Pierce logo is the release mechanism for your hood release. There are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. As we move to the A-pillar, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, it's where you'll find your identification clearance lights. There are 5 located here. Directly in the center, forward-facing floodlight. As we move up onto the roof of the vehicle, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Located within inside the light bar in the center is your Opticom. Moving now to a full view of the side of the vehicle, we'll focus in on the cab section next, starting first with your front wheel, where you'll find Michelin tires, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge into the center axle. As we move to the bumper extension, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. Just to the rear of that location on the front body is where you'll find your auto-eject shoreline inlet. Easily accessible with a gloved hand, these are your door lock latch combination, and they are keyed. Right next to it, you'll find the grab handle for maintaining 3 points of contact while entering and exiting the cab. Directly above the side-facing window is where you'll find your side-facing scene light, and to the rear of the cab at the top is where you'll find your emergency warning light. We'll come back to the pump house in just a moment. Let's go ahead and move to the body section next, where you'll find at the very bottom a water tank drain. Just rear to that is where you'll find air tank drains. Located with inside the rub rail is where you'll find side-facing emergency warning lights. Forward of the axle, marker turn indicator light. There are 2 pan doors located here. We'll cover the contents of those in a few moments. And then over the rear axle is where you'll find your emergency warning light. Also, as we move to the top, side-facing scene light, and at the very rear, an emergency warning light. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus. Let's start first down in the lower corner, where you'll find emergency warning light, brake, turn, and reverse light. Moving all the way up to the top, just above that cluster, is where you'll find your hose bed lights and rear scene lights. At the very top, rear scene lights and emergency warning lights. Moving just above the roll-up compartment door at the rear, you'll find 2 discharges, 2.5 inch. Located in the center, you'll find your backup camera, and then also a traffic advisor located within the area just above. D handle to the right will gain you access into your 24-foot extension ladder, 14 roof, 10-foot attic, and long-handled pike poles. Full view of the side of the vehicle. Let's start now with the rear portion, where you'll find the exhaust located just in front of the rear axle. As we move to the pump panel area on the passenger side, we'll come back to this section in a few moments too in greater detail, and then on to the cab section next. As we move to the front of the vehicle and the front bumper, and then let's go ahead and take a look inside the front hood area, where you'll find on the officer side fill location for your windshield wiper fluid,
As we move to the driver's space, you'll find the overflow for your radiator. There is a informational placard in the back for raising and lowering your cab, and also a concealed switch for unlocking your door locks. Next to that, the yellow with black is the remote tabled or tethered cab raise and lower. And to the right, the protected switch is the position raise or lower. And then just to the far right is a visual sight gauge and also dipstick for your power steering fluid. Let's go ahead and move inside the cab next. We'll start first on the driver's side with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch combination, and window control. As we move into the step wheel area, you'll find an air inlet. And then just at the base of the floor on the inside engine area is where you'll find this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation. It also has the VIN number, fluid capacities for each component, fluid capacity, and also fluid type. As we move to the floor of the driver's space, you'll find your mechanical siren foot pedal, and then about the left knee of the operator, you'll find the engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port, tech module, and display port. Also some switches here for ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit. As we move to the dash cluster on the left, you'll find your 4-way flasher, start ignition switch. Just inside that location, you'll find a switch labeled EM, which stands for emergency master. This will engage or disengage all emergency lights along with your headlights and panel lights. To the right, OK to engage the high idle and indicator. To the left, you'll find the tachometer and speedometer, transmission temperature, oil pressure, def level, and water temp. To the right, volts, fuel, front and rear air. Tachometer and speedometer are located directly in the center. Tally information will display above and below the tachometer and in the space directly in the center below the speedometer. Your vehicle is also equipped with a supplemental restraint system airbag located in the front steering wheel. Also emergency warning light control and light control. As we move just to the right, you'll find your display screen and also the pull to apply or system parking brake and push to release. These are the rear spring brakes. Also touchscreen and function button for your monitor. To the right, you'll find the Allison transmission pad, informational note to pump and drive. To the right, your traffic advisor control module, engine brake on and off, settings for low, medium, or high, indicator for your monitor is not snowed, and then also mirror heat. To the right at the top, you'll find your front flood, driver scene, passenger scene, rear scene, air horn, momentary opticom, siren brake, and load manager. Just below, you'll find your pump shift, instructions from road to pump, and also from pump to road. Moving just down to the right, you'll find your flat mirror and convex mirror control along with 12-volt access via USB-A. Climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost are located in this space. Overhead of the operator, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 10 feet 0 inches, length 31 feet 10.5 inches, gross vehicle weight rating 55,000 pounds. If you make any adjustments to your vehicle that may affect any of these, height, length, or gross vehicle weight rating, please update this placard. To the right, you'll find your PA speaker and electronic siren. Additional switches are located to the right of this area for your emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and opticom. When the lights have been activated, the light will illuminate within the switch green. To the right, you'll find additional storage location in this cubby. And in the very center, you'll find a flashing red. It's indicating you may have a compartment or door open. Along with your seatbelt information, red, someone is in the seat and not belted, green, in the seat and belted. There are two compartments on each side, along with 2 forward-facing seats. Behind the driver's seat, you'll find this speaker for your backup camera. There is volume control on that speaker. Exterior, when plugged into Shoreline Power, your battery voltage indicator will illuminate your battery status. As we move to the front tire, once again, Michelin tire Alcoa wheel. Now we're into the rear section of the cab, and as we move into this space, let's take a look at the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, and window control electric windows, and also grab handle. As we look overhead, push on and off white or red lens lights and also your intercom system. There are 2 rear-facing seats which do house SCBA brackets and bottles. General view here into the cab section. Directly over the engine tunnel area, you'll find battery chargers for your portable radios and also USB 12-volt charging. Along within the center, access here for your oil and transmission checks. As we move to those forward-facing seats, there is additional storage underneath in a ventilated compartment. Let's take a look into the compartments in the rear-facing with the roll-up compartment door. 2 adjustable shelves and LED lighting, 1 on the passenger and also 1 on the driver's side. Let's go ahead and move to the rear cab wall, where you'll find on the officer side battery chargers for your flashlights. Underneath exterior is your jumper stud. This is on the driver's side. We're now going to move into the pump panel area. We'll start first with the crosslays. There are 3 located here. Crosslay 1, crosslay 2, and crosslay 3. All 3 of these are foam capable. Also a warning placard here indicating entanglement hazard. Because those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. As we move into the pump panel area, let's start on the very top with the gray section. This is your master intake and master discharge gauge, along with your test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. In the red module, this is your Husky 12 foam system. There are instructions for its operation, along with foam system level A indicator. To the right, your pressure throttle governor, along with an audible alarm. You do have a pump overheat indicator and visual alarm, and also audible. Moving to the left, you'll find the push button for the reel rewind, and then all of our color-coded and labeled discharges from the booster reel to crosslay 1, 2, and 3, and your deck gun. As we move down to the bottom, large diameter passenger side discharge. Also, your 2.5-inch discharges are located in this area. Moving further to the right, you'll find the engineer side discharge and also the officer side discharge, along with your tank fill and recirculating line. As we move down from this location, you'll find the water tank level indicator, and then further to the right, you'll find an engine cooler. Just below that, you'll find a warning placard indicating fall. When climbing on or off the vehicle, please face the vehicle. Moving further down on the pump panel, you'll find your switch panel here in the gray module and also a indicator for OK to pump. As we move to the right, you'll find the tank to pump. And then further to the right, you'll find the fire for the fire pump primer. It's a push to prime air at least 1,000 RPMs for best practices while priming. Let's move down on the left where you'll find your air outlet. And then also right next to it is a garden hose outlet. And also you can see underneath the spigot location. There are 2 2.5-inch discharges located here, along with a warning placard. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment. That's only after proper training, along with your minimum operation maintenance schedule and also test pressures indicated at 150, 200, and 250 psi. We do have a warning placard here indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening. The American flag Pierce logo Eagle, large diameter pump inlet on the driver's side. Main pump drain, and then also your manual pump shift. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find your Watrous placard indicating the size of water pump that you have. Also in this area, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Further to the right, auxiliary inlet, 2.5-inch, locally controlled via the ball valve. Into the pump panel area behind it is where you'll find your lever for fill operations for foam or operational level for use. And on the side, you'll find your foam pump discharge drain and foam pump intake drain. You do have a pull-out stand-on tray located here just under the pump panel. Along with we move into the compartments now, roll-up compartment door open. In this compartment, you're going to find your battery charger when plugged into Shoreline Power. This will activate on its own along with your air compressor, which is in the hatch compartment. We do have a water tank drain located here, along with your primary tank, wet tank, and also other air tanks associated with drains. Overwheel compartment, D-handle gains you access to the back side. It will lock into position. The release for that is located on the hinge side. As we move to the front compartment, just in front of the rear axle, you'll find additional storage here for spill management. The hopper here houses the product. As we move just down from this location, you'll find Michelin tires and Alcoa wheel. To the rear of the axle, you'll find the fill location for your ultra low sulfur diesel. It's the silver cap. And also SCBA bottle storage. Moving the flap downward exposes the 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. Let's go ahead and move down to the rear compartment where you'll find adjustable shelves and also a pull-out tray down in the lower right-hand side. Inside this compartment, you'll also find in the top, when plugged into Shoreline Power, you do have an additional outlet located here. Pull-out tray in the lower right-hand corner, release located on the lower right. All compartments open now on the passenger and driver's side. We'll go through those next. Let's take a look at the rear of the apparatus. Just above the brake emergency warning lights, you'll find two switches, rear scene light and hosebed lights. Hosebed dividers are movable. As we move just underneath the traffic advisor, you'll find your backup camera. Also some warning information here regarding pressure hazard, entanglement hazard, and your backup camera located directly in the center. Two 2.5-inch discharges, one on the left, one on the right. As we move into the lower compartment, roll-up compartment door gains you access into this space. Pull-out tray located in the bottom, and also release located on the lower right. As we move into the ladder storage compartment, D-handle gains you access, 24-foot extension, 14-foot roof, 10-foot attic, and pike pole storage. As we move to the passenger side, adjustable shelves. To the overwheel compartment, SCBA bottle storage. To the forward position for 3, and to the rear for 2, and an oxygen bottle. Rear axle once again, Michelin tire, Alcoa wheel. Forward of this location, bottle storage for 3 SCBAs with retaining straps. As we move to the forward compartment, adjustable shelving. And now we'll move into the pump panel area, starting first at the very top with our crosslay for crosslay 1, crosslay 2, and crosslay 3. All foam capable. Also a warning placard indicating entanglement hazard. As we move into the pan door here, this is for your water strainer. As we move into the rest of the items, we have a reel rewind along with a warning pressure hazard. American Flag Eagle is your large diameter passenger side inlet. As we move across the very bottom, color-coded and labeled discharge drains, along with a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet locally controlled via the ball valve. Additionally, on this side, we have a pull-out tray located in this area. And as we move now into the cab area, we'll start at the rear. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, window control, and a grab handle. Also on the hinge side, you'll find a red grab handle for gaining access in. As we move into the cab area, you'll find push on and off white or red lens lights, your intercom system, and also your air conditioning unit. There are 2 forward-facing seats, as we've seen previously, and we're now into the forward section of the officer space. Let's move into that area. First, affixed to the door panel on the officer space, we're going to find all of our safety and warning placard information, also door lock and latch, window control, and a grab handle. Let's move inside the officer space and look overhead, and we'll focus in on some of these things here. Let's start first with the front section where you'll find supplemental restraint system, an airbag, and also a warning placard indicating for mounting of equipment within this area. Also these red and white candy cane labels, these are indicating spare wiring behind the panel. As we move just to the left, you'll find power outlets for USB-A and also barrel style. As we move overhead of the officer seat, you'll find additional storage pockets and also a map light. Let's move to the exterior now. All compartments are open on the passenger side. And let's move up onto the top of the vehicle and specifically look at the hosebed and dunnage area. We have hatch compartments in the rear and also forward section. Hose bed dividers that are movable. Back into the hatch sections in the rear on the passenger and driver's side, LED lighting and also dry deck material inside. This is also the location on the driver's side where your air compressor is located. When plugged into Shoreline Power, your air compressor will maintain your brake pressure. As we move into the dunnage, we have top fill for water and also for foam. What I'd like to point out in the foam section is there is a warning placard indicating do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. As we move just forward to this location, you'll find your booster reel and then also master stream device. On the booster reel, you do have free tension spool and then also a manual rewind. As we move to the forward cab area, you'll find this is a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these placard indicating that it is a non-walking surface. The next set of images are going to be that of the chassis with the cab tilted and the under portion of your undercarriage. There'll be no additional audio from this point on. Congratulations, Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, Nevada, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 41594. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.